Hey, we're opening the garage door. We've got a special guest with us. Hey, Hillary Burton from the Honeychain. Honeychain Music is the website you'll want to go to. But Hillary, welcome to the garage.
Thank you. Hi.
I'm sure you
Glad to
probably
be
spent
here.
a lot of time playing in garages.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, for quite some time now.
Well, Hillary, tell us about the band Honeychain. How you guys got started? I know you guys are out in L.A.
Yep. So yeah, we are an LA band. We're a three-piece. We're alternative rock. Also, we can be kind of power pop to punky pop to rock and roll. And we started, basically what happened is I was in a previous band with my best friend, and the both of us played all the instruments on the records that we had put out. It was a band called Nushu, Nushu. And then we kind of split to do different things. And so I decided to record an EP. And since I play drums and guitar and bass, I just put out an EP where I played everything. And then a friend of mine heard it, and she's like, "Oh, you really need to put a band together to support these songs, to go play them live." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And so that's kind of how Honeychain became a band, other than just me. And so we put out a couple records, and we're putting one out. We just signed with Die Laughing Records and Golden Robot
Oh, very cool.
Entertainment Group. Yeah, and so we're putting out our first single June 19th. We actually this week, this past week, we have the lyric video for the first single, Pocket Full of Good Luck, which is out on YouTube now. And then that'll follow with the full release this year, so summer. So we're super excited.
Yeah, I just checked out the Pocket Full of Good Luck, and I really liked it. To me, I mean, there's
Cool.
those power again. We talked earlier about crunch
Yeah.
guitar, power guitar
Yeah.
sounds with power chords in there. Power. I'm a power pop punk fan, huge fan.
Okay. Cool.
Rooted in the Beatles, but I hear a lot of stuff in some of your music. To me, I hear a little bit of the Attractions. Elvis's
Mm-hmm.
band.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Also, I hear in your vocals a little bit of Chrissy Hine.
That's
Um,
interesting. Yeah, you're not the first person to say that. And it always surprises me because it's like, I don't hear it. I mean, I grew up loving the Pretenders, who hasn't, right? Or doesn't. So no, I appreciate that. And it's funny you mentioned the Attractions. We actually covered This Year's Girl for a compilation called Beyond Belief, which was released where the funds raised were donated towards Mr. Holland's Opus to give access to kids to musical instruments.
Oh, wow.
So that's a cover we did that was really, really fun.
yeah, I checked out that as well. Being a huge Declan McManus fan, I had to check it out. Of course, I think was it This Year's Girl. I can't remember off the top of my head. Is that
Yep.
right? Is that what you
Yep.
covered? Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And the way I wanted to
Really
approach
original.
that, yeah, and I changed the tempo slightly, and it was one of the ones where it was just two members of Honeychain did it at the time, and so I played guitar and drums on that, and I kind of geeked out at the very end of the outro. I switched the kick pattern ever so slightly, but I'm like, oh, it was like that one thing that I did playing the drums on that song. I was like, oh, I like that. So.
Yeah, interesting cut. Very interesting cut. So, Die Laughing Records. Now, are you guys going to do a vinyl too, or are you just doing mainly CD or digital downloads?
So we're going to start digital. We'll have CD. The plan will be for vinyl at some point in time, but probably phased out in terms of just like when things are going to be released. So yeah.
Well, out in LA, the big mastering place burned up.
I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
huge deal. And of course, going back a few years, the big Universal fire, which they kind of lied to us about, and a lot of masters were destroyed. Now, Hillary, do you own all your own masters? Do you
Yep.
get to keep them all? Oh,
Yep.
Excellent, good.
Yep. And this last record, like you commented on a little bit earlier, like my recording stuff in here. This last record that we're putting out on Die Laughing Records, I engineered and recorded it here and did all the mixing and mastering and producing. And I learned a lot on the last record that we did. My friend Kim Shattuck, was in the Muffs, the Pandoras, with me, and she produced Honeychain's last record. And so when we were working on that record together, she taught me a lot of stuff in Pro Tools and really encouraged me to start producing. So this was kind of a complete DIY effort, somewhat of a control freak issue for me, but it was fun. Anyway,
Nothing wrong with
go
that.
down that road all the time. It was a lot.
But that's a good thing,
Craig,
the ins and outs of all of it. So
Yeah.
well, you take control. You get the power. The power doesn't have to go to somebody else. You have the power to control your own destiny to a certain degree. But now, Craig, I know Craig's more on the punk side of stuff, and Craig, you are familiar much more than I am with the Muffs. I am some. Pandora. Tell me what kind of band Pandora was.
Well, the Pandoras were a band that was started in the 80s, I believe. I can't remember. I wasn't in the band then. It was a different group, and they had different members throughout the years. But what happened is there was a reuniting of some of the core members, including Kim, Melanie Vamin, Sherry Weinstein at the time, and then Karen Bassett, and they were playing together. And then Sherry, who played drums, couldn't go on a European tour. So Kim and I were friends. She knew I played drums as well as guitar. And so she asked me whether or not I could go on this European tour with them. And so we did that and played. It was crazy. So she tells me she brought me out of retirement as a drummer, because I was like, I just drum on my demos or when I want to do something like that. But so I had to learn like 35 songs,
oh wow,
like really quick. And then so we played a show in Minneapolis, and then we came home, and then we flew to Europe, and we did like 8 countries and 13 shows in a row, like night after night after night. All throughout Europe. And then we did a couple on the East Coast. And by the time we came home, it was like a whirlwind. An amazing experience, super fun. But, 13 nights in a row. And it's like you literally get up in the morning, get on the bus, drive, and you're kind of awake. And then it was really strange because every day at a certain period of time, like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it was like, we're all asleep for 2 hours. It was like, no matter what country we're in, what time zone we were in, 3 o'clock, we're all like this in the van.
You were a seasoned touring drummer by the end of that then.
Right? I know, exactly.
Have you guys seen a movie called The Rockers? The Rocker, it's about this drummer who's older, but anyway, he joins a band and he has to ice down. When we play like 2 gigs in a row, I mean, I am sore, I don't see how some of these guys do it.
Well, it was funny because like I like started tearing up my hands, and I'm like, I've never like had blisters or like so I started rapping, and I found like I have just a couple of sore spots. And then somebody mentioned Vader sticks, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, okay, I'll try them. Oh my God. It was like the greatest ever. So I have like one place that I tape. So it's like a boxer and, 2 little pieces of tape. But yeah, no, it was great. And then we put out a record on Burger Records. And so that was really cool.
I think I have it, as a matter of fact. I think they did a vinyl. It was a vinyl sampler. Burger did a vinyl sampler, but I think I have that, as a matter of fact. Okay.
Yeah, that was fun. So yeah, I miss playing drums from that perspective, playing with the Pandoras. But I'm very fortunate that in Honeychain I have a phenomenal drummer, and he is somebody that like I can just look at, and he's like, okay, we know what we're talking about. So it's cool.
That's indispensable. Having that communication, being able to almost telepathically look with a wink to know what you're going to do or where you're going to go or what you're needing at that particular time. Now on the new record, did you use your Rogers kit?
We did, actually. And the reason why, we used my Rogers kit, and I have an old Rogers snare that I use, but I also have a pork pie, like Black Beauty wannabe, a bob. But we tuned that up really well, really tight. But yes, my Rogers kit is the one, because it's mic'd up, and because it's here like 2 feet away from me, I have time to mess around and tinker with it. And when it comes to drum tones, particularly with the tom, like I use my 14-inch as my rack tom instead of my 13. Like my set comes with a 13 and 14, but I like the big, rack tom. So we used that, and I got a pretty good deep tone out of it, which I was happy about.
Fantastic. Fantastic. That's very cool. Okay, so let's talk about Honeychain music real fast.
Yep.
A couple of the songs, there's a lyric that really stuck with me, and that was I don't want to listen to the radio. Everything I hear makes me want to fill my ears with cement. And I was
Yeah.
like, yes, that's Radio Radio by Elvis. I mean, I don't know if I've forgotten the song it came from.
That's interesting. That's really cool. No, I hadn't even thought about that. I don't want to listen to the radio because everything I hear makes me want to go fill my ears with cement and stick my head in the sand. Yeah, I had to remember the lyrics. Sorry. It's been a while.
Pretty good.
But yeah, no, it was, that was sort of thank you for acknowledging some of the lyrics. I super have fun with lyrics, and a lot of them just like come and you're like, wait, where did that come from?
Who are some of your influences lyrically?
Right,
beat you to it, Greg.
It's interesting. I mean, I love the Muffs. I think Kim's lyrics are great. I love Letters to Cleo. I think their songwriting is phenomenal. I like Veruca Salt. I like Blondie. I like Pretenders. I mean, the things that you mentioned as well. I like New York Dolls. Like, I'll listen to things like that. But I'm also like, more so than even just like bands, I love songs, like certain songs. I'll listen to like an old 1940s honky tonk song that was written by like Cindy Walker, and I'll be like, that's the greatest thing ever. Or, just, so it really depends. But I don't really think about, oh, those are great lyrics, or that's great, melody, or that's a great, kick pattern. It's just like something about a song will just like, that gets me all at once.
To me, that's what makes a song great, though. You can't if you put your finger on it, it disappears.
Right. That's a good point. Yeah.
It just grabs you. It relates somewhere inside, or in somehow internally, and it just captured it.
You mentioned Blondie, and that's what I told Troy. I said, you guys kind of sound like if Blondie came out now. Like, you have that sound that, and then you mentioned New York Dolls, and I never even thought of the New York Dolls, but now that you say that, I can hear the New York Dolls a little bit in your stuff.
Well, it's kind of just sort of that kind of like, every once in a while I love like the sloppiness of how the Dolls will approach a song.
But that's kind of catchy. It's catchy, and you guys have a nice hook with your stuff. So I think that's going to go places for you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
sorry.
No, okay. But now, Hillary, I wanted to talk a little bit about back behind you are some very cool guitars. Just briefly, I know you don't have eyes in the back of your head yet, but if you would just tell us what we have back there.
I can point. Yeah. So the black one with the custom pickguard, it's a Mexican-made Fender Toronado. Toronados were only made for a short time frame, I think maybe 4 years. But it's the only Fender that is scaled like a Gibson. And prior to switching to this guitar, I was playing a Gibson Les Paul, but I'm really a spaz when I play live. And the Les Paul was just like, particularly the way that it's cut or not tapered, was just beating the heck out of my my hip. And I'm like, oh, between that and like the fact that it weighs 1 million pounds and I'm trying to jump all over and not kill myself.
Right.
I decided, oh, there's a Fender that, is scaled like a Gibson. And then I just fell in love with it. And so I have a couple of Toronados. And then the blue guitar it's a 1960, I want to say 7, I think, Tisco shark fin. And it's like my favorite neck to play. It's amazing. The pickups are really weird and kind of, I get a lot of feedback, which is super fun. But another thing why I've only played that guitar live twice, I love it in the studio, but I also hit my guitars a lot when I'm playing. And I did that at a show a couple times. And I'm like, this guitar doesn't like to be hit. So it's a little bit too picky. And then what I was going to say is I also have over here, I have this one, which is, so this guitar was the dumpster diver find from a dumpster in Venice Beach, and it's an old Stratotone. But when I set out to do the first EP, I wanted a sound that was somewhat different guitar-wise. So this one we swapped out and put a humbucker. I had an extra humbucker laying around, and then just wired it up here, really fancy. And what I like about this is it has like a growl, but very little sustain. So it's really good. I'm sure it's not in tune, but it's like crazy. And you put that through like,
oh yeah,
212, and it's like, whoa. So this guitar is really fun. This is somebody, I guess, tried to like paint it or do something. So we were taking it off and putting like all these layers, and now it's just like you got to keep it.
I would say it looks cool. It's very cool.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's a custom one of a kind.
Yeah, and Kim played the lead on 2 tracks on the album Crush.
Okay.
One of them was Messy Love. And so in the video, I was like, oh, you can be like, come be in the video. It'll be so fun. So she played lead, and she's like, oh, I'll use that guitar. So she used this, and it's like, this is the one that in the video got swung and dropped on a railroad track, but it still plays well. And then the other one that was also beat up in a video is this one here, which is, this was in the video I played in the Messy Love video, and it's the infamous Hits TV's guitar.
Battle
You'll see that in the video too. And there's just a chunk came out, a wood chunk, and I'm like, oh, what am I gonna do? I'm like, I just need to tape it up. So I put some like duct tape on it, and it works super great. So those are.
Well, you know, I got to say, the duct tape you put on there,
know,
Rick Nielsen, cheap trickish.
It was like literally the closest thing I had. It was like, so that was cool. Yeah, so that was fun.
So I know everything's on hiatus and kind of paused right now for you guys in Honeychain, but upcoming plans, hopefully by August, you guys will be back out there, or anything? Do you know anything yet, or anything tentatively?
There is a show on the books with the Dolly Rots, our friends, the Dolly Rots. When they come out to LA, we play with them quite a bit, which is super fun. So we had a show scheduled with them in March, and that obviously got postponed to August right now. And it's kind of a, you know, as with many places in the country, if not the world, you know, it's the social distancing. It's when are things going to return to, you know, semi-normal, when our club's going to open again. And that hasn't been determined. So
right.
We're all of us in sort of the community of musicians right now are kind of playing it by ear in terms of when shows will actually be, you know, given the green light, when it's safe.
Hopefully soon. Hopefully soon.
Yeah. And again, it's like, you know, we're kind of all waiting for the advice from those in the medical community and others that would know.
But tentatively still in August though with the Dolly Rots. That hasn't been canceled.
Until I hear or know otherwise. Correct. Yeah.
I've not seen you guys live yet, but I get the feeling that you got a lot of electric when you're live.
We have fun.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah.
I cannot
we have
wait.
fun. I mean, the guys in my band, I mean, we're like super close friends. So when we go travel together, hang out together, I mean, we would hang out and be friends if we weren't in a band together. So when we get on stage too, it's like, yeah, we have a great time. Yeah.
But Hillary, in the meantime, now you guys have merch available. You have some. I think there's on your is Honeychain Music. Is that the website?
Yeah, honeychainmusic.com.
Okay.
What all is available there?
So you can get digital downloads there as well as on Bandcamp, and I mean we're on the iTunes and the SoundClouds SoundClouds. What is it? Spotify, all that stuff. But within our website, you can get the merch, the T-shirts, the hats. We have vinyl. We had Crushed, which was our last full length, the one that Kim produced. That was put out on vinyl by a label in Germany. So we have some German imports that we have available.
Oh, cool.
In the
That's a good album, too. That's a good song.
Cool. Thank you. And we have a single that came out on vinyl. We have some limited edition yellow vinyl and then some black vinyl. That was a label in Spain. So we have some of those available.
Go Away is that single, correct? Go Away?
Yes. Yeah.
What's the B-side on that one? We did a cover of Going Through Your Purse
by Material Issue.
Yeah, that's a good song. You guys did a really good version of it too. Yeah.
Excellent. I didn't know that. You guys, Material Issue. I thought I was the only one around that still dug a Material Issue.
Well, what's interesting is that has been our closer on our live set, like on almost every single show forever. And if not the closer, it's like really close to the end. So, because people are like, what's that song? What's that song? And what's cool is like, we even had a music critic which was like, this is great. And I didn't even know who Material Issue were, but now I've become a fan. And I'm like, that's so great. Let's do. So yeah, no, that was really cool. And we've got some, some feedback from people that they really, they liked our approach to the cover, which is not much different than the original. So
that's a good single. Everybody needs to go out and buy that then.
Go ahead, Craig. I'm sorry.
Oh, I said that's a good single then. Everyone needs to go out and buy that. Both sides are good.
Yeah, no.
Well, I want to get a copy, so hold on. We don't want anybody to get it yet. I got to get that order going. Now,
whatever. Just give me your address. I'll send you stuff.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, but now, Hillary, what are some records that are important to you? I mean, from when you were little to now. I mean, some records that are important to you. Maybe you're 3 or 4 or 5.
Well, I guess Beauty and the Beat by the Go-Go's was like transformative for my life.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of when I first heard that as a kid. And it inspired me to want to be a drummer initially. And so learning how to play drums was literally sitting as a kid with headphones and then trying to figure out how to play Beauty and the Beat. And so that is a real important record to me. Star by Belly is a really important record to me. When I first heard that record, having had been a Throwing Muses fan, but when I heard that record, it's like, I must have played that over and over. And in terms of from a lyricist standpoint, Tanya Donnelly is a fantastic lyricist and just songwriter, and the imagery that she conjures up in her her lyrics are just like, I think that speaks to me. So that record really it inspired me to okay, I need to really start thinking about songwriting hardcore again. And then my favorite Letters to Cleo record is Go. I just like all the songs on that. And then probably, Eat to the Beat by Blondie.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
It's, everybody, thinks about it, some of the other releases, but I think that's a really important one that really inspired me too. And there's just so many. I could go on and on and on, but.
Well, this is what we do on a Saturday night. We sit around and listen and talk records.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's basically what we do. But
even the Grease soundtrack, my favorite movie is Grease, and that soundtrack is just great.
Oh, yeah.
So everything and Patsy Cline's greatest hits. Everything like that is just, like I said, there's not a lot I don't really like, but those are the ones I love.
So Hillary, did you start off as a drummer to begin with, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my first instrument.
When was the transition? Did you go to guitar or?
Well, pretty early on. Drums was the first instrument I played in a band.
Yeah.
But I had my dad's a guitar player, so I learned how to play a few kind of basic chords. So I had always been a songwriter, even in the band that I was the drummer for. I co-wrote a lot of stuff. So, and then it was just sort of, melding between wanting just to really, push myself as a songwriter and as a guitar player / singer. And I just really started having a lot of fun with that. So again, it was really just, how to best, get my songs across. And I found that it was better when I did it, just because I was able to communicate it the way I wanted to.
That's great.
Now, you guys, I saw that you had a Instagram live stream. Did you guys just recently do that on?
Yeah, I did one this past weekend for Black Star amps. That's my go-to amp right here. Ooh, my Black Star.
Nice.
And so it's my live amp, and I love it. They were gracious enough to have me on their Instagram live stream this past Saturday.
Yeah.
And it was fun.
Hopefully not herky jerky. We're trying to upgrade our equipment, but it's a little rough here, you know.
Well, you know what was weird about that is, like, you know, of course you do tests and you check everything and
Sure.
everything's great, you know, it's wonderful. But then as you're doing it live and you see people's comments and they're talking about like a glitch, you're like, okay. But then it's on their end, right? It's not
Right,
even on
yeah.
your, and it's like, so you're trying like not to look at comments because you're trying to play, and it's like,
Right.
it's a whole other weird thing.
Yes.
I
Yes.
think it's becoming the norm this year, though, with everything that's going on. You know, everybody's kind of learning the digital outlook. I know we talked to Becky Lynn Blanca, and she used the word digital renaissance is what's going on right now. So
yeah, no, and I think it's great. I mean, I think it's as important. Like, I keep seeing things about how it's important to give the audience, you know, what they're missing, but I also really totally recognize when I'm seeing this happen that there's a lot of artists and performers that it's like they need to perform as much as they need to breathe.
Yes.
And
yes.
so I see this as kind of their kind of opportunity to continue breathing in however they're going to do it. And so, you know, more power to everybody as we're all figuring out the technology and how to best communicate it. And, you know, there's a little bit of glitchiness here and there, but I think it's really important for both sides.
I agree.
That's astute, very astute.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Hillary, thank you so much. Honeychain is the band. Yep. I would say a power pop punk band, but there's all kinds of stuff in there, all kinds of influences. So, yep. Hillary, thank you for the time. Any closing thoughts?
No, just I appreciate having an opportunity to talk to you guys, you know, and everybody just continue to stay safe and sane, and, you know, pick up a guitar, pick up a set of drumsticks, and, you know, use that as an expression of however you need to express things right now, because it's working for me.
Well, Hillary, is there a good chance we might check in with you in about a month, see how things are going? Is that cool with you?
Yep, that'll be fun.
We appreciate you coming on and talking with us.
Well, thank you for giving me a reason to like put like something that's not a t-shirt. Talking about a t-shirt all the time. So, thank you.
It's been the garage door. It's been the garage door. Thanks for joining us. We'll check you out later.
Bye.
Bye.